Next up, we're going to talk about the left tackle battle that's going on right now between Matt Pryor and the third round rookie Bernard Raimann. So we've always, we've been going back and forth on the show. Saturday was finally something we could just finally say, okay, they're going against someone else. What can they do? So Rashad, let me start with you on this one. The left tackle battle, we saw Matt Pryor, I think it was for 3 series, Bernard Raimann, I believe 5. So what did you think about each guy? And, what were some of the mistakes you saw, some of the negatives and some of the positives?
Oh, with Matt Pryor, I think he had a solid, not solid, but I don't think he played as bad as everybody's saying he played. I think he had a couple. I think he did have some bad reps though, and it just pretty much confirmed what I already thought my evaluation was of him already, and is that he's gonna struggle with speed rushes. Like it is no debate. I don't think it's anything he can do to change that between now and it's just who he is as a player. With his size, he can handle the bull rush, he can handle power. But guys that's just flying off, that's just pin their ears back and fly off the edge, he is going to struggle, man. He's going to have his moments where he looks like he's not ready for what's going on. That's pretty much of the same what I saw against in the Buffalo game. As far as Raimann, I thought it was interesting that he played the rest of the game. Once he came in, he stayed in throughout with the 2s and 3s. He was just in for the rest of the game. I think it was good to get him those reps, especially since at training camp, he's not been getting reps with the 1s. You need to get him as many live bullets as possible. So I think that was important for him. I like that Frank's doing that. Of course, he had an easier job. He was going against a little bit less competition than Pryor, but Raimann showed me a lot, man. I thought he was a guy opposite of Pryor that was going to struggle with power and with guys that gives him a bull rush directly. But he handled it pretty well, man. He handled himself pretty well. It was definitely encouraging. And I know there's a lot of people that really want Raimann to win his job. I mean, even when you look from a team structural standpoint for us financially, it'd just be beneficial to have a third rounder win the left tackle job and go on to be a left tackle of the future. You not have to worry about paying that guy for a few years down the line, especially when you commit so much money to your offensive line already. It's just a beneficial thing to have Raimann win. And I think the Colts are going to sometime soon is going to just see what you have to give him some snaps with the 1s and just see what he can do. I know it was Pryor's job. Like Ballard said, he'll get the first crack at it. And I think Ballard has been fair in upholding that. He's been given every opportunity to snatch this job, and he hasn't quite done it. So I think eventually you're going to move into that direction. Wouldn't be surprised if it's at a joint practice against the Lions, or if it's in the last preseason game, they just decide to let him start and just see what he can do, man, because until he's thrown in the fire, we'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Matt Pryor's game, I knew going in, he's a solid up and down blocker. When it comes to run blocking, not many guys are just going to go through him. And it's part of the reason I just wish there was a way to have him as that like rotational guard, rotational right tackle piece. Because the thing that's going to worry me and worries me on Saturday is he just has no answer to speed rushers. His get off the line is just very below average, is what I saw again on Saturday. And I guess that's just the area that I'm kind of worried about. I think the team is going to still be like, I think last year they were probably like 70-30 and then the occasional like 85-15 run to pass. This year they probably want to be more like 60-40 run pass. So there's still going to be a significant run balance there. So I don't think Pryor starting a few games here and there would be a big issue. The big one for me is you just can't have your blindside blocker being a liability in pass pro. And that's what I see Pryor at right now. If I can move him to guard, if I can move him to right tackle even, I would be way more comfortable with Matt Pryor being in my starting lineup. Just being in the left tackle, being in a 37-year-old, I wouldn't call Matt Ryan immobile, but not mobile
Right.
at 37 years old. I do not want his blindside protector to be a liability in pass pro. We saw Eric Fisher show that a little bit last year, and I just do not want to see any situation where Matt Ryan's put into the turf at a unhealthy amount because of that. So that's my big takeaway there. And then Raimann, it's almost a flip, man, that's the crazy thing about this battle. I mean, Raimann, I think it's opposite. I think he has a very solid foundation in pass pro. His get off the line is pretty solid. I think his footwork are very mechanical almost, where they just boom bam, it happens every single time. And then in run protection, he just has he's struggling with leverage. He's really struggling with that center mass and being able to push back when a defender pushes him. So there's just different areas right now where I see both of them struggling, and we'll kind of see how it all plays out. I mean, I would love to see Raimann get some run with the ones here in the near future just to see if he looks like he fits. Because that's the other thing for me is that whenever I look at the starting five right now, I just don't think Matt Pryor fits in that left tackle spot.
So after Saturday, here's what I'm like, and I know the fans already know, like I'm with Pryor, you're with Raimann, but here after Saturday.
Oh, really? I didn't notice. I hadn't noticed.
Here's where I'm stuck. If Matt Pryor doesn't fit with the ones, how does Raimann fit with the ones? That's my question. This is where I'm stuck now, because talking about Matt Pryor real quick, we already knew he was a great run blocker. That's not surprising. He won every run block rep on Saturday. Not surprising. We know how good he is and how massive he is as a guard in that situation. So no surprise there. He lost 3 total pass block reps, in my opinion, and all were 2 were speed rush. The other one, dude just got moved out of the way. I think that was the sack. He just got moved out the way. I was very disappointed in that one. He looked a little bit unnatural to me playing the position. If I'm being objective, if I'm bringing objectivity to the conversation, he looked a little bit unnatural on Saturday. He did. He looked like, obviously, what we know, he hasn't played left tackle in the NFL. He's not used to that speed on that left end. He's usually going against tackles and everything. That was my thing with Pryor. I think another thing that I noticed was he was backing up and waiting too long for contact, waiting too long as a tackle. You can't just sit back and wait for the guy to come to you. No, you got to back up, brace for that, and you just got to grab the man. That's what you got to do. And he wasn't doing that enough for me to feel comfortable about him being left tackle week 1. It gave me a little bit of pause for concern. With Raimann, I reached out to you guys, not just Des. I reached out to you guys Saturday night, said I did not see whatever this next gen stat, Destin, you threw at me, 86.5% win rate. I thought I was tripping. I know I didn't smoke nowhere marijuana or anything. Did someone, poison my drink at all? I reached out to a few people. Man, am I tripping or what? Because I just didn't see 86% win rate. And they got back with me. They didn't agree either. It was, for me, my little bit 80, they just didn't see. High 69, low 70, that's what they saw. Because if we're going to sit here and say Matt Pryor was, struggling here, what about with what Bernard Raimann was struggling? He was losing reps against threes. You can't sit there and tell me Bernard Raimann needs to be out there against Micah Parsons, against Chandler Jones, against all these pass rushers that we're going to see. You just can't tell me that. If we're going to be objective all the way here.
But are you saying you would rather Matt Pryor block Micah Parsons than Bernard Raimann?
I would.
In pass protection?
Strength-wise, I mean, really, that question is not a good question, Destin, because if either one of them, if either one of them are right there week 1, we're screwed. We're screwed either way.
I didn't say either one of them is taking Micah Parsons and shoving him into the turf or anything. I'm not saying either of them are winning the rep.
You're asking me,
I'm saying you threw.
At the end of the day, Micah Parsons might have 6 sacks alone when we play Dallas. I'm
just saying you threw Micah Parsons out. Yes. I'm just asking you, looking at what Micah Parsons does, would you rather have Matt Pryor or Bernard Raimann in pass protection against that guy? Because objectively, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't see a way you can say Matt Pryor in pass protection.
I don't see a way, even if it's up against Matt Pryor. Why are we making this like Bernard Raimann is the best option when he's probably right now as a rookie? It's not his fault. He's got to get better at it. He's got to take time. And I'm not even trying to push him down at all. He's a rookie, dude. He started football late. He's not there yet.
Been a tackle for 3 years. I agree.
One. He's not there yet. So I feel better if he's on the bench, or if something happens to Pryor, or even if he wins the job day one. I'm still nervous as hell right now, whether if it's Pryor, sorry, dude, if it's Pryor or Raimann. I'm nervous either way about that left tackle spot. And I know y'all are probably thinking, man, you can come out here and say Matt Pryor won. Matt Pryor did not, make me look good. I'll just say that.
I'm not really, it's not even an emphasis that I think Bernard Raimann is the overall best player to put at left tackle at this moment in time. It's just, to me, with a 37-year-old quarterback and the running backs that we have right now, I would prioritize pass pro over run pro at the left tackle spot. And if you put both Raimann and Pryor in front of me, I believe full on, because of technique and what their skill sets line up with, I believe Bernard Raimann is the better pass protection tackle at this moment. We've not been able to see him with the ones. That is a true point. So I that's where I'm agreeing with Rashad in the sense is I think we have to see him with the ones before we can get to that point. But skill set wise, Raimann has the better skill set to be a pass protection left tackle for the blind side. That's really where my opinion lies on it.
And you're correct there. I do think he has the better skill set wise, but that's in 2 years. I'm talking about right here, right now. You're not wrong when you talk about he long-term and objectively he's better. You're not wrong. But as of right now, I mean, against the speed, he struggled against speed guys, and they weren't even the starters on Saturday. He was struggling. The arm length is an issue, is what I saw. That's an issue. And it's going to be, if he struggled like this, and again, it was his first game. But if this continues, I can't sit up here and say, man, I'd rather Pryor or Raimann. I think I might start the trade for a left tackle train, because objectively, I just can't say on Saturday either one made me feel good about the possibility of either one of them stepping out there week one. Both of them had okay days. I think Raimann had a little bit of a better, although he had more playing time than Pryor. But other than that, run blocking was not his strong suit. Pass blocking, it was just back and forth for me, really. Again, I mean, I would have to really sit down with you and tell you what I'm seeing. You tell me what you're seeing. I just didn't see this 86%. That was way too high from what I saw. Other than that, the other negative, I mean, he had a pass interference call, blocking way too far downfield. Just have better awareness. Other than that, third round rookie, that's what you expect.